Hello, welcome to program Important Issue. I'm Zarina Kozova, and we are going to discuss about religion in modern society. And today our guest, political scientist Chris Saipol. Mr. Saipol, thank you. I'm glad to be here. What's the main goals of the participations of current forum in Astana, and what's the essential global issue would you to pay attention?
Well, Rahmet, thank you for having me. As you said, my name is Chris Saipol. I'm with Senior Fellow with Love Your Neighbor Community, LYNC, Link. And it's been my great privilege to spend this past week in Kazakhstan, not just the Congress. I was invited by your government to do an independent assessment of religious freedom and security in many cities in Shymkent and Almaty and Astana, and then the assessment will go further west. But it's been a great time to be in Kazakhstan and to see the tremendous tolerance that is here and that is among the public that the president has harnessed through this Congress. It's been a remarkable conversation so far.
What's the essential global issue would you to pay attention? What do you think?
Sorry, I didn't answer that part. What is most remarkable to me in attending the forum is that this is a place, Kazakhstan, Astana, where East and West meet, and you can have Central Asians, but also Americans and Iranians and Russians in the same room, and Israelis. That's a special gift that Kazakhstan offers the world.
Between China, too.
Yes. And you don't see that too many places. So in his speech, President Tokayev said, people say the East is here and the West is here. Well, no, they have to come together. They come together in a place called Kazakhstan. And it's united through tolerance, which is one of the characteristic issues of President Tokayev, but it's also a chief characteristic of the people, as I've seen earlier this week in 3 cities.
Obviously, from the first forum, religion in Astana in 2003, the world has dramatically changed. What are the major challenges and problems of modern society in your mind, and what are you personally concerned about it?
Well, I would agree with President Tokayev. I'm concerned about the unprecedented geopolitical tension. I am concerned about our Earth. I am concerned about the technological challenges. My wife and I have 5 children, ages 10 to 18. It's a very different world than 30 years ago in 2003 when the Congress started. So we need to think about these things. But the beauty of the speech was that it integrated these things together. Most people talk in lanes. The president brought everything together in a holistic fashion and then made practical recommendations. And we have not heard as many practical recommendations today as we should. But he made many of them, and it really was a wonderful speech.
One of the most significant change of the modern world is the total digital transformation of society, as you said. How has it affected human now to the young people of society? And what you can offer to reduce the negative effect of this digitalization?
Well, I think the primary purpose of the digitalization is to remind people of their past so that they can seize their future. Let me give you 2 examples, one from your country and one from mine. Today is September 17th. This is the day that Americans adopted the Constitution for themselves. It's a big day for us. But when we created our Constitution, we said African Americans were 3/5 of a person. So we made big mistakes, but over time, we got better. Digitalization allows us to remember that and share that with my children and their friends in a way that they may not be aware of. In your country, yesterday I had the tremendous humbling experience of being at Algiers. The Gulag north of Astana.
Near Karaganda, yes.
Yes. 8,000 women there, 20,000 women transited there during the Gulag. And Kazakhs had a choice. They could ignore the injustice or they could try to do something. And they threw kurts at the prisoners to help them because they were their neighbor. It's a beautiful statement. But people forget. And people forget my constitution, they forget this history, and we need to bring this history forward to make us smart and humble about the past so we can decide what we want for the future. And that was the great gift of the president's presentation today. He spoke about both at the same time.
And to your mind, what should the government to do in order to not have the generation gap?
Well, I think there needs to be two things. Free minds and free markets. Free minds mean I can make decisions for myself. And I have to be able to be trusted to make decisions on my own. Soviet mindset is I look up for permission. Free mind says I make decisions on my own according to my principles, and I move faster because of it. With a free mind, you can be better in the military. I was in the Marine Corps for 9 years. You have to drive decisions to the lowest level to succeed in battle. In the economy, you have to drive decisions decentralized to the lowest level if you are to beat your competition. But I need a free mind to think about that and a free market to compete in ideas and to compete with products. So freedom of conscience, freedom of religion, freedom of belief is essential. It's the foundation of the civilization of a country, to be able to believe or not believe. And if I can do that and I can trust the values that come from my own faith, then I can work with people who don't believe as I do, but share the same values. And now we're making decisions faster, and we're having better products and a better economy and stronger social cohesion because I know my neighbors respect me for my beliefs and I respect them. Not because I agree with their beliefs, but because I respect their dignity, because God made us all. And these are the things that we have to work on together going forward to keep the next generation holding up the best of the past so they can create their own future.
What about digitalization? In your point of view, how the Congress changed as a global platform in digitalization time?
I think, this is my humble opinion, I'm not an expert on this, but I think the Congress is, based on the President's speech, I think the Congress is changing from a place where religious leaders meet to a place where religious leaders meet and talk about the issues that are facing our global society. Digitalization, the economy, the environment, extremism. And wouldn't it be a beautiful thing that where we created working groups between Congresses so we could work on things together and also have other conferences that were related around the world that promoted the Kazakh model here of the Congress. But everybody was working together so the next Congress we could begin with reports. Here's what we did since 2025. And I think young people would very much appreciate that because they sometimes all they hear is cliches, too many politicians talking. They want to see action and they want to be a part of developing and co-creating the action that takes place.
And my last questions, in your mind, what is the way for the forum to be more active to the Congress, to the event?
Well, for example, if we were to identify the 5 top topics, which we would take from the President's speech, and we've discussed some of them, and then we say, maybe it's Kazakhstan as the catalyst and other organizations, the OIC, the UN, etc., they can become the lead organization on the issue and they could form a group, an action group. And they would select people who had attended the Congress, but also people who have not, because not everybody can be here today and tomorrow. And so you create these groups and they work on specific issues. And that's where we get beyond the values that were so well said today to the action of implementing those values by addressing our common challenges because we're collaborating together in respect for one another. But we have to have some kind of mechanism, a working group, to work on these things together and prepare to report on our actions at the next Congress.
Thank you for your answers. Thank you for your time. This was program Important Issue, and I would like to remind that all the important news you can read on the website Inform Agency BAQ.KZ. See you soon.